What's up, everyone? What is happening? Okay, so Senator Elizabeth Warren, who's running for president, recently tweeted out that she would like to put $85 billion into a program to put internet in all American homes. Yes, that she thinks the government getting into the internet business is a good idea. This is just more pandering for votes, is really what it is. It's a terrible idea. Really, what she's doing is bribing people for votes. That's what this is. It really should be considered illegal when you think about it. Like, you're offering us healthcare, free college, childcare. You offer now internet. You're offering us this free life, free life, free everything, free pizza on Wednesday. If we vote for you, that's exactly what this is. It's bribery. Now, some people on Twitter, I was looking over it, calling it the DMV of the internet, just like we have the DMV of healthcare and the DMV of college and the DMV of childcare and the DMV of everything that the Democrats want to just give away for free. This is a terrible idea because let's just say that this is more than just pandering and a Twitter talk. And this is something they really want to implement. This is exactly what would happen. You would spend $85 billion of our money, probably more. That's probably the low ball estimate. Probably more than that to put internet in all homes that we just don't need. Why would I say that? Because we already have internet. Oh, but it'll be free internet. No, it won't. It's going to come out of your taxes, so you're still going to pay for it one way or another. And that's just less money to put into other programs that could benefit us more. So we would pay higher taxes again for another free program from the government. It would be government ran. Of course, they'll have to hire people, and it'll just be more of a liability for the government, meaning they'll have to tax us more so they can pay the wages, $15 an hour or more. Federal minimum wage that even the candidates don't even pay their own. According to the Bernie Sanders campaign, he wasn't even paying his own campaign workers, his own campaign staff $15 an hour, and he's advocating for $15 an hour minimum wage. So you would spend all this money. It would probably amount to who knows how many trillions of dollars for this program in the two-term president having free internet provided by the government. But then they're going to control what information we're privileged to on the internet, right? So think about it. You'll have this internet giving you the information that they approve of, information that they think you should have. They will limit your ability to outright speech. The idea would be that this would be a public utility company, right? So you can't be booted off of it, right? You can't be kicked off it. But you'll see how, if they ever did, start this type of program up, you'll see how fast guys like me will be booted off it. We'll be called a criminal. They'll try to get us on some kind of charge or something. Guys that talk like me, and they'll try to kick us off. We won't be allowed. You won't be able to find my channel or whatever I have to say. It won't be allowed on their government ran internet. They'll control the narrative in that way. They'll control what information you're privileged to have, what knowledge you're privileged to learn, because they won't allow it on their website, on their internet. Just like they control your education through the public school system, just like they'll control your doctors through healthcare. Once healthcare becomes the only game in town, once there's no more private insurance companies, which our crappy mayor here in New York City, Mayor de Blasio, and Bernie Sanders, and more than half of the Democrats running for president, they don't want any private insurance companies. They want them gone. They want a one-payer system, universal health care, Medicaid for all, and that's it. They'll own your doctors. They'll own all the hospitals because they're the ones paying them, right? Unless you can afford to pay out of pocket, which most people can't, they will own your doctor. They will own you. They will own your medical treatment. They will own everything about you. You will get the medical treatment that they say you should get. Then they'll eventually go after the pharmaceutical companies until they own them as well. So they'll own your health. They'll own your education. They'll own what information and knowledge you're able to learn. They're going to own the right to raise your kids between the child care years 0 to 3. They'll raise them to be any way they want, teach them whatever ideology they feel like it. And then up next, I guess, is just them getting a hold of the news media and really controlling it, which they do now in a sense, right? At least in theory, we know all the liberal news stations are beholden to the Democratic Party. We know that, but this time, if the government gets to control it, they'll really own them and really tell them what they're allowed to talk about, what stories they're allowed to show, and what they're not, what information they're allowed to give us. We are going to be controlled by them from the cradle to the grave. Plain and simple. That's the plan of the Democrats. Now, of course, what I'm saying, maybe this is all good for a novel. It's all perfect this is like a 1984 George Orwell novel. No doubt about it. But make no mistake, the Democrats are trying for that. They are going for that. That is a plan of theirs. And they do think it's a good plan. They do think it's a good idea. You are watching them do this. Now, let's understand something. You always have to be leery of stuff like this. Why would you want the government to have more control? Why would you want them to own any industry in a market? Why would you want them to have that? They already have the military, the police, the fire. They have all this stuff. The stuff that we can argue and say that they should have. We shouldn't leave the police in the hands of private people because we're afraid that they won't want to investigate a crime if you don't pay them. So yes, that's why the government has to do it, right? Military, same thing. They won't fight a war and defend us if they're not being paid. Fire department, if you don't have the right fire insurance for your home, they won't come and put the fire out. So that's why we have to have the government to do it. We don't need the government controlling a government-ran internet. We don't need that. We have private people that can do that. We don't need private-ran health insurance or school or anything like that. That could be left in the hands of the private citizens, the private individuals, who will create a strong competitive market where they would have to outcompete each other to do the best they can to get the customers to make the most money. That's why we have such a strong economy, because of the market. The market takes care of the market. You have you have your consumers, and you have your providers of goods and services. They have to work with each other. Whoever can provide the best goods and service will get the better of the consumer, right? The consumer is going to want to go to where he or she gets a better bargain for their buck. And that's how it works. And that's why we have such a strong economy. We don't need the government stepping in, because anything they touch, they bruise. Plain and simple. So government-ran internet, not a good idea, not unless you want them to just completely control what information you are privileged to have, what knowledge you're privileged to learn. And if you like seeing certain people, if you like seeing, videos that are in this genre that I do, if you like seeing guys like us, you wouldn't want the government controlling the internet. It's bad enough we're fighting with, with the private tech companies now who are doing the best they can to silence conservative voices. We're already dealing with that. That is already an issue. They're already going after the conservatives, and they're going after private, individual, the alternative news, journalists that they're going after, because they're competing. They're out competing CNN and them. So they're coming after people like us. Not me. I have a small channel. They don't even know I exist. But let me get up there, and then they'll look to ban me. They'll look to get rid of me. Look to silence me and prevent me from going any further, and preventing me from my voice from reaching the most people I possibly can. This is what the government will do round the clock if we allow them into the internet business. Plain and simple. This is an easy one. Keep government out of the market. Plain and simple. That is it. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you on the next video.